Let's check in with Good Housekeeping's editor-in-chief, Rosemary Ellis, and the guru of good health, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
It's great to have you here, Dr. Oz. Thanks so much for joining us. You know, this entire show is dedicated to anti-aging, a topic that every woman cares a lot about. And in fact, we just finished our first ever anti-aging skincare awards, but we're here to find out even more from you today. You're a cardiothoracic surgeon, and yet your passion is to teach us how to age well and even how to turn back the clock. What are the 5 most important things that we can do?
Well, as a preamble, let me say we have a lot of misperceptions about what aging really is. Aging is not about avoiding any breaks and fractures and cracks in your body or your skin. It's about understanding that your body can always repair the damage that's done if you've provided the right infrastructure for it. And so there are 5 tips, very concrete things. People want to get their pens out right now and write them down. Easy, proven, reproducible ways that you can live longer and better. Enjoy the process while you're living those extra years, and you'll look better too. Number 1, without any question, the biggest ager of all is hypertension. Now, high blood pressure does a couple things. High blood pressure is like a fire hydrant squirting off the very thin, delicate, Teflon-like lining on the insides of your arteries. When you scrape off that artery lining, the body has to repair it. It repairs it with the body's plaster. Like if I scratched that wall behind me, we repair it with plaster. The body's plaster is called cholesterol. And so if you don't have any damage to the artery, you don't need to repair the artery, so you don't care about your cholesterol. So you stop that cascade that happens so frequently. So number 1 is blood pressure. Number 2 is cigarette smoking. I'm not going to spend much time there. Those little vertical lines you get around your lips.
Everybody knows this, right?
Number 3 is a diet that you love. We'll come back to specifics on diet, but you've got to adore it or else you won't stay on it. I'm not interested in the wind sprint here of good health. I want you to run a marathon of living longer. 4, you got to have some exercise plan that makes sense for you. And 5, a stress management program. Not stress reduction, because you can't get rid of stress in life. You got to manage the stress differently. And the best way to do that, Rosemary, is deep breathing. Let's do it right now real quick. We're going to do it at a count of 8, 4 in, 4 out, okay? Take a deep breath in, put your right hand on your stomach so we can watch, everyone watch together. Watch my hand go out. Deep breath in, 1, 2, belly goes out, 3. The belly button's way out there now, a little bit of aching in here, and then exhale, let it roll down, 6, 7. Now, suck the belly button towards your spine, 8. Let me do it again. And that deep breathing exercise done 10 times will allow you to sit in a very tense meeting where you just want to strangle the person opposite you, and instead you say, JB, I'm okay with that, because I'm there.
Great. Now, let's talk more about anti-aging foods. You mentioned that a minute ago. What are the real powerhouse foods that combat aging in our bodies?
Produce, vegetables, fruits that have rich colors to them are good for you. And you know why? Because those colors are there for a reason. When a blueberry is that deep violet color, it's there because it's protecting itself from the effects of the sun. The ravaging effects of the sun on our skin and then the radiation affects our body. It's good for us in some ways. It gives us vitamin D, but it's actually aging us, it's rusting us, it's oxidizing us, which is basically what antioxidants help you prevent.
Right.
So these rich, colorful bits of produce, you're getting all those chemicals that are naturally in those fruits and vegetables to protect them, and you're getting them in your own body to protect you.
So as a class, deeply colored fruits and vegetables, but singularly there are some that are especially great, like blueberries, for example.
Blueberries, raspberries. The most powerful food of all that we have proven medicinally is broccoli. And the reason for that is that...
Your mother was right.
She is right. Broccoli has indoles in it. These are chemicals that actually help the liver detoxify itself.
Fascinating.
Omega-3s probably are the most powerful supplement you can incorporate into your life. Here's why. 60% of the brain is made of omega-3 fats.
Really?
You can get it in fish oils. In fact, cod liver oil is a great solution because, again, mom's right, because it's got vitamin D in it and it's got omega-3 fats. Omega-3s happen in different forms.
Right.
But the DHA, the animal forms of omega-3 fats, the ones that we need, then you'll be able to support your brain. And we have new data now showing that people who think they're forgetting a little bit more than they used to forget can actually reduce their brain age by 3 years. You can make yourself think younger by taking omega-3s. You also reduce arrhythmias of the heart, irregular heartbeats. We also think you may impact on cancer rates, and we also know that you impact on joint aches and pains. So there's a whole myriad of reasons why omega-3s make sense because they reduce the inflammation in the body. They're the healthy fats.
Great advice. There are emotional components that affect aging, too, I know. The social connections that you have, the relationships, but how important is that really?
I went with Dan Buettner, who's a good friend, and an investigator of blue zones. A blue zone is defined as a population that lives to age 100 a lot. So, for example, Costa Rica, Okinawa, Sardinia. When you look at these societies, they do a bunch of things differently. But one of the most common traits we always see is community. When people get older, they have a role in society. And very fundamentally, what I figured out, my mom could have told me this too, is that if your heart doesn't have a reason to keep beating, it won't. And so in these societies, they have purpose, they have mission, they have drive. There's a reason to get up in the morning, and so they do. And that creates this continuous cascade of joy and vitality that allows them to live into their hundreds with the health that they crave.
How do we extrapolate that for a 35-year-old mom who is married and has 2 kids and works? How do you incorporate that into a crazy, busy life that most of us lead?
2 big messages for moms especially. Number 1, it's not about time management, it's about energy management. If the things you're doing are giving you chi, giving you energy, keep doing them. So if you're volunteering at the PTA or you're involved in some kids activity and it gives you joy and bliss, keep doing that, because that's not what you want to cut out of your life.
Right.
And the other big message is, remember, the kids are not going to treat themselves the way you treat them. They're going to treat themselves the way you treat yourself. So if you sacrifice everything for them, when they grow up, they'll do the same. But if you love them and take care of them and show them by example that you can take care of yourself, by doing things that bring joy to you, they'll do the same as they get older, which ultimately is what we want to pass along to the next generation.
Great. I know that you've said that aging is inevitable. We all know that. But the rate of aging isn't. Tell me more about that.
I don't mind us aging, and I think folks need to get comfortable in their own skin. But when you go to your high school reunion, although we've all aged, let's say, 25 years, we don't all look 25 years older. Some of us look more, some yet less. So the rate is something that we do have impact on. And remember, aging is a side effect of life. It's not what's going to happen for sure. The processes that allow us to live our lives well have side effects to them. So if we begin to realize how we can cope with some of these side effects of aging, the rate of aging goes down, we feel better and look better. And for me, it's not about looking 30 when you're 50. It's about looking really healthy when you're 50,
Before we close, just tell me, if we could do just one thing today to slow down the aging process, what would it be?
There's no question that the correct answer to that is exercise.
Exercise.
The number 1 thing we need to do to stay alive is to move. Now, that doesn't mean go run a marathon. What that means is incorporate physical activity into your day-to-day life. Examples: walk up the stairs to work. Make it easier for you and your family to get activity by walking to the places you shop, walking to school. Dancing is a wonderful tool. In fact, people fear more than anything else being senile, developing Alzheimer's. One of the best solutions for loss of memory is also dancing, because it challenges your brain more powerfully than a crossword puzzle would to do all these complex movements if you're coordinated at dancing,
right,
and still get the physical activity. And even sex counts, because when you're intimate with the person that you love, not only are you coping with lots of other problems that may be occurring in your relationship, but you're actually becoming physically active and you're revving the engine of your body. And so physical activity both keeps us in shape but checks that we are in shape. And because of that, it's a wonderful therapy and it's a wonderful diagnostic tool for me as well.
Thanks for the great advice, and thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you.
Always a
at Good
blessing, Rosemary.
Housekeeping.